What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Welcome back to Call Me Old Fashioned, where we talk everything bourbon, whiskey, and of course, old fashions. Tonight, what is that noise? If you're in the chat, give me a little sound check. Let me know it sounds good, I guess, because something was happening over here. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, sorry we are late. We were watching some hockey, handling some business. So, yeah, we're a little late. A little late. I think we're gonna move the time from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. anyway, just because it feels better that way. But that's not set in stone. We're just playing with the times a little bit here. Plus, it's hockey season. I think we may have to go live tomorrow for the Panthers game. You guys haven't got to see me freak out yet this year, but it's getting a little dicey. The Oilers are on right now. They're winning, so it looks like they're gonna run it back. But Raging Cajun in the chat says, "Cheers, cheers, bud." Joker, hey, welcome back, baby. He says, "Nights is Eagle Rare, sweet, sounds good." We're gonna do a couple things. Apparently, it's focusing on Celsius. Yeah, funny story. I've had this bottle kind of locked in, like cap on, and not opening it up basically. And during the Panther game, I go, it was looking bleak, and I said, all right, if we could just score here, I'll crack it open. Literally 10 seconds later, they score, so I cracked it open. And then I'll have a second pour if they score another score. And I was like, oh my god, I think I got the magic bottle here. So that's why it's open. But Christian in the chat says, yo, what's up? Call me old fashioned. Christian, what's up? Ray just says, a little low on the sound for me. Let me tweak that. Oh, it's also because the mic's up here. Let me do this. That might be a little bit better. Maybe. Not 100% sure, but we'll see. Christian says, sound and audio are good. Appreciate it. Maybe that's a little better. North Florida says, where you at? I know. North Florida, what's funny is he said he was going to get there at this bourbon drop at 10. And I was like, all right, if he's going to get there at 10, I didn't want to be first either way. Like, if he told me that or not, I didn't want to be first. I wanted to be like 10th. I don't know. Just 10th felt good. And then I was looking at the list, and he said there's already people in line. I go, there's no way. Like, I would need a nap. So I was like, I think I'm gonna have to bail. I may just like pull up in the morning just to come see what everybody gets. But man, 13 hours. Like, whoever is first in line at that bourbon drop right now is ballsy. Like, last time I went to that bourbon drop, I got there at 3:30 in the morning, something like that. And by the time the doors were open, I was hanging on for dear life. Like, you could see it in the video. You guys can go back and watch it. I could barely keep my eyes open. Sentences were not forming. Now, granted, I did do like a 3-hour drinking live stream and then drove there by chauffeur. I got there, and then we were drinking a little bit there, so it was just a little touch and go. So I'm just replaying that in my head. I go, the boys out there right now, they want it more than I do, Plus, like, I wouldn't want the Russell's 15 on the list or the 13th Colony Double Oak. I feel like I already have those. Those should go to somebody else anyway. I was thinking Jack 12, which I feel like from the list, personally, I think whoever's third in line is going to probably grab that. Then maybe I would go with, I don't know, the Penelope 17-year light whiskey or even the 10-year. Redwood Empire Haystack Needle was on there, and it just depends on like who's in front of me, whether or not they would take the Buffalo Trace lineup stuff. So I'm gonna go there regardless and get one of their barrel picks, but I guess it's just not gonna be today. I have a lot of other stuff going on I can't really talk about on stream, so that too. Christian said, bro, 9 p.m. would be awesome. Christian, where are you at again? Arful says, Panthers are straight up buzzsaw. Panthers are straight up about that life. I love hockey. I love hockey right now. Me and the wife just got like this like plethora from the NHL store of hockey stuff. Like merch, like clothing, right? And I got all 2024 Stanley Cup championship merch, just because they're Stanley Cup champions from last year, just in case you didn't see. But I straight up got like a hoodie, some fancy long sleeve thing for her, a couple shirts for me, a shirt for the kid, and it all was like 35 bucks. It was crazy prices. So I was pretty pumped. We're way off track for the bourbon talk, but that was my week. But he says, clip the mic to your beard. That will probably help. It would. My beard's probably the longest it's been in a while, just because I didn't get it cut the last time I got a haircut, and I already need another haircut, so you just kind of see where that's going, you know? But in the chat, let me know what you're sipping on. What have you been drinking tonight? If you started already? North Florida, let me know what people got at the bourbon drop, what we sipping on there. You know what I realized too? When I cracked this bottle during the playoff game, I forgot how much I love Eagle Rare. This bottle. So we're going to talk about that 12-year thing that they're doing. Right? Eagle Rare 10-year right now, MSRP is like 40 to 50 bucks, just depending on where you get it. Secondary, you could see it as high as like 80 sometimes. If it's higher than that, it's just obscene. But it is definitely the best value bottle from Buffalo Trace, in my opinion, when it comes to, you get some age, you get a lot of flavor, you get a decent price, you get a cool distillery. Like it kind of encapsulates everything at Buffalo Trace that, from my standpoint, that I'd want. But it's so good for the price. Now, they're making a 12-year for two reasons, in my opinion. First one going to be is they see the value behind the product, but they can't jump MSRP double. You know what I mean? They can't do it themselves and be like, hey, we're actually going to charge 80 now. It just doesn't work. So if they age it a little bit longer, another 2 years, right, then they can jack it up to 60, 80 bucks and start building the money off of it that everybody else is making on the secondary anyway. So that's what I think they're doing that, and I think they just want to kind of build off of the Eagle Ram brand because they know it's good. Love Mixology says, oh, hello. How you doing? We're going to start with a little Eagle Rare. Then I do have that, what's it called again? Oak Bowery from Bruzel's that we're going to crack into. Because I know some of you guys had some questions about that. Mixology says, I open now this stream for the first time, and I think it's the best channel on YouTube. Hey, I appreciate that. I don't think we're the best, but I think it's pretty fun. It's a fun place to be. We're just getting started. We've only been live a couple minutes. We're going to do a little reviews. Well, I mean, I've already done. We're gonna talk about some whiskey, some bourbon, have some fun, do some pours. We'll talk about some YouTube stuff, and then just kind of hang out, relax. If you guys have questions about bourbon or any of that kind of stuff, you just let me know. Joker says there's 9 people in here and only 3 likes. Let's give a thumbs up to the YouTube. Subscribe if you're new. Let's go, family. Joker, appreciate it as always. Look at Joker coming in here. He was like almost on time today because he's got a wrench now, Mixology says I finished my shift an hour ago. Busy night. What do you do? Ragin says started with Brother Justice single malt, then a pour. Man, this YouTube thing's moving weird. Then had a pour of Oak Bowery 1. Ragin, since you've had it, what do you think? What's your thoughts? Somebody says, am I crazy for paying $190 for Stag Junior? I mean, depends. I think that's a little too much, but is it a single barrel or not? Did you already have one? Right? Those are all things I would pay, or take into consideration. When it comes to like, did you pay too much or not questions, I feel like that's not really something for me to answer, because it's all about like, did you feel comfortable paying that much? Because if you did, then great. That's all that really matters, because it's your money. But at the end of the day, like, if you felt like you paid too much, then you probably did. But, I think the Stag for me, I paid a little less than that. And it was the first one. And I was like, I probably would have paid $200 if I found it. So, Whiskey with Water says, ahoy. That's how you enter a stream. I'm just saying, like, people come in, they say hello. Those are fine too. But, like, you pop in, say ahoy. Makes me want to do the SpongeBob theme song. Theme song. Am I having a stroke? What's happening? I gotta set that focus. This camera's losing its mind tonight. You saw how it landed on the Russells back there? It said, let me get that. Oh, that's why. I was filming a video earlier, and I got all fancy with my camera, so it's all types of messed up today. I'm in Buffalo. We don't see MSRP allocated. So if you don't see it often, right, that's the other thing you got to take into account. Like, how often do you see them? Are they everywhere, different prices? If you don't see it often, or really at all, and you don't have one, Stag is really good, right? There's nothing wrong with Stag. The price is subjective because it's just whatever you feel comfortable paying with it. 190 is not completely, I've seen worse. The liquor store right up the road from me, they constantly have Stag. It's probably the same bottle, to be honest. And they're selling it for almost $400. It's never going to sell, in my opinion, but it is what it is. Let's see, Whiskey with Water says, Eagle Rare, nice. I scored the 175 the other day for 80. I only want the 175 bottle so I can just have it. I want the big one. $80, I think that's okay price. I don't see anything wrong with that. Joker says, let's agree, call me old fashioned. If we get this stream to 100 likes, you do the SpongeBob intro. All I would do is just play the YouTube video of it, and I would just put it up. I'd eat the monetization, basically. You know, I demonetize the video because of the intro. Mixology, no, I've never tried that. I'm not big on Scotch. Like, I want to. I eventually will break into more Scotches that I hope to like, but I have not found one yet that I'm like, that's drinkable. Most of the time I'm like, please don't throw up, please don't throw up. I don't know why. I wish I did. I wish I liked them. Raiden says, Obi-Wan, fruit forward, no harsh oak notes. Drinks in near its stated proof. I like it. We will revisit in a couple weeks. Raiden, if you've seen the review I just did of it, go watch that. I posted my video, and then I realized he posted a video. Bruzel did. And I was like, oh shit, didn't watch that. And it's him breaking down the bottle. And he said he didn't blend it for a long period of time. So to me, I don't know shit about fuck, basically. But I also thought, like, if it didn't blend for a while, there's a possibility that some bottles are going to be different from others. Because mine is like fruit gushers. And I actually really like it. But I do get harsh oak. Like, it is, like, the oak's like right there and punch you in the face in the beginning. But I like double oak, so it's in my alley of things that I personally like. Oh, Whiskey with Water says, it's on my shelf. I'm not going to crack that. I mean, I think I'd wait. Hold on to it for a little bit. Save it for a rainy day. But it would be cool to just kind of keep. Let's go ahead and do the little B-roll action of the Oak Bowery while we talk about it. I'm like dragging ass today, boys. That's my bad. I'm like down in Celsius and stuff. I think Eagle Rare is also, like, as good as it is, it's also a really good starter. Low proof with some good flavors, really kind of acclimates your palate. So I like that as a first pour of the night. Lordy. He's like, I have the 750s for that. I get it. So in Florida, it's pretty hard for me to find the Eagle Rares. So I actually got that one from Georgia on my last trip up to, like, Tennessee, I think I was going. On my way up, I stopped at, like, multiple different liquor stores. Actually, I was on my way to North Carolina at that time. And I went up through, like, Atlanta, basically. And I stopped at almost every liquor store off 95. And it was almost at every store, all MSRP. So I picked up one. I didn't want to, like, blow the budget because I picked up a few different things. When I picked up the 70th anniversary for Wild Turkey, I picked up a stag. Picked up a few things. Arvel says, besides 175s look bad on your shelf. I will agree to an extent. Like if I could have one shelf be all 175s, I think we could get away with it. But I have a 175 down there of like the Kirkland's bottled and bond. It does not fit on any shelf. It has to sit on the bottom shelf just because it's the only one that fits. I have like a bookshelf thing on this side, so it fits, it works, but like it's getting buried. I also don't like it, so it's not doesn't. Fun Train, welcome to the stream, baby. I thought there was something in my Glen. Yeah, I mean, I know we were just talking about the Oak Bowery, and you said there's no harsh oak, but I get like that's like the first thing I get is like in heavy. Like I almost like categorize this as like if you didn't tell me anything and I did it blind, I would probably guess this was like either a very light toasted oak or toasted barrel, or like a weird version of a double oak, because there is a lot. And it just has a little bit of that, a little roughness to it, but it's like in a good way. Like it's hard to describe that part. And then from there, it's just fruit. It's like fruit salad, yummy, yum. You know what I mean? Like it just breaks it down. But overall, honestly, like people thought I was just trying to hype it up. It's actually fairly good. I know you're not like this isn't gonna be his normal thing or anything like that. So don't let me tell you all the rest of his stuff's gonna be great. But I'm sure like if this is fairly decent, we at least have an idea he knows what he's doing when it comes to the blending thing, you know. So overall, I'm fairly impressed with it. One thing I didn't add in to the review style video is he was saying like this label is too big and he wanted this a little higher up. Like I can get this part to me is a little big. This is perfect size. I like how that size of it. So Whiskey said I just had to pay for my niece's school, etc. this month. So hope there's still some left on Thursday when I get paid. Oh, he's talking about something else. Yeah, one I didn't add this into the video because I didn't know. Honestly, I didn't even think I needed to at first because like I was just more or less reviewing it, like tasting notes wise. And then I also realized it was on the website, but I didn't realize till after. So it's I believe it's two or three of the Old Dominics plus a weeded barrel that he got from wherever he bought all of those barrels from when he was getting the distillery stuff. So it's mainly Old Dominic, but with some added flavors and a blend of some different Old Dominics. Joker says, when did the $100 bottle review? When you did the $100 bottle review, how did you get those notes? Does it come in time? How do you get those notes? Does it come in time? I'm so confused, Joker. I don't know what you're saying. When I did the bottle review, how did I get the notes? I mean, I just tasted it and smelt it. Like I'm kind of confused on that. How do you get those notes? Like if you're talking about like the barrel stuff, like all I needed to do is look at the website. I just didn't pay attention. And does it come in time? This was not sent to me. I bought this. So nobody sent it to me. I ordered it. It got here really quick. I will say that. Shipping was on point. Mixology says 61 ABV. Yeah, 61.5. It's 123 proof. I don't know who did the writing on it though, but it looks like I did it. Looks like my handwriting, because my handwriting's not great, but that handwriting's not great either. Like it's the proof you can read, Everything else is a speed done, a little quickness on there. I don't care about that stuff, but somebody will, you know. Yeah, bro. I mean, when somebody goes, because somebody commented that about the tasting notes on the video, they're like, "How'd you get so many?" I'm like, "I don't know. Like this, I just got it. It was like red fruits, chocolate. It reminds me kind of like it definitely feels like a bourbon when it comes to like the sweetness, which kind of revolves around the vanilla and the caramel stuff. I can't remember if I just said chocolate, but there's chocolate in there. Chocolate's always been an easy note for me to pick. On the nose was a little bit different. I didn't really get a ton of red fruit. I got a little bit, but it was more of a like citrus, I think. Yeah, like it almost was like a mix between like oranges and grapefruit. It's almost like bitter citrus. I don't even know how like to describe that. But that's kind of like what comes to my mind. Joker says, "LOL. When I drink and I have tried multiple drinks, I smell liquor and harsh. I even bought the glasses and nothing." Oh, like you don't know how to do tasting notes in general. Well, Joker, I, I think you're not the biggest whiskey guy, if I can't recall. I know you like whiskey and stuff, but like, let me don't speak on that. I can't remember that well. My memory's not the greatest. How do I like in general? If you go back and you watch like my very first couple videos, I was not as good as I am now by any means, and I'm not even that good now. Like I'm not anybody special when it comes to this shit. I just give you my thoughts. I definitely think it's. This is gonna sound like I'm an alcoholic, but I do it. I drink every Friday on stream, and we talk about tasting notes. So like when you do it often, you just kind of get used to it. Plus, the more higher proof, it definitely helps. I will say like one of the big things when like that I would add into like how to build your palate would be is drink higher proof stuff because then when you're drinking the lower stuff, it is easier. Because drinking higher proof stuff has more. It's more complex, has more to it because it's less watered down. Hence why people get more flavors out of higher proof. Rather than if you go pick up Jim Beam double oak, you get oak, vanilla, and caramel, and you're like, that's it. That's all there is. In longer age and in higher proof, it just has more complexity because it gets more characteristics from that barrel and stuff. But I mean, there's a couple tricks I use. One of the first things I ever learned was at this moonshine distillery in where is it? Gatlinburg, Tennessee. It was Sugarlands, and basically, whiskey with waters, 100% spot on. It said stop smoking cigarettes, help me with more tasting notes. Facts. Now I still vape, but I quit smoking cigarettes, and I could taste things for the first time in my life. So if you smoke cigarettes, for sure that's gonna stop it. It just kind of destroys your mouth. Now, at Sugarlands, they have this Appalachian apple pie, or grandma's apple pie, or something like that. And one of the tasting notes, they're like, "Hey, you take a sip, and when you breathe in, you're gonna get like a sweet caramel. When you breathe out, you're gonna get this like Granny Smith apple." And 100% spot on. Every time you kind of like did a little breath in, you were getting the caramel. When you were breathing out, you're getting apples, and it blew my mind. I was like, holy shit. Like, what kind of trickery is in this whiskey? And it's just how it reacts on most people's palates, and that's what they're going off of. So it was definitely cool to learn that. That was one of my first interactions with tasting notes was in Gatlinburg. And then I started using parts like that, and then obviously I've looked up other videos. There's weird things you can do where you swish around your mouth and do stuff like that. Some people, I don't know who it is. Somebody told me in the chat one time. Some people chew their whiskey. I've never done that, but people do it. I have a whole video on it too. You can go watch that. Like it's old. I probably should update it, but McSolly says, "Do you recommend a little splash of water? I know whiskey with ice is really bad, but in a lot of countries they use it. They use that. Not like, sorry, but a little splash. Less power of the alcohol. Yeah, so I don't have my dropper over here, but when I'm really diving into a whiskey, you know, especially if it's barrel proof, right? And this is something on his video that for Bruzel said for this, like add a couple drops in, and it really opened it up. Adding a couple drops in, a little bit of water, is going to change it, and it allows you to kind of experience it slightly different. Do I recommend it? I mean, that's all preference stuff, right? It just depends on how far you want to explore that glass of whiskey, and it's your whiskey, so do whatever you want with it. But I do it on occasions when I'm really trying to experiment with it. You also said ice is bad. Ice isn't bad. It's just how you want to drink. So drink your whiskey how you want. When I first was drinking, all I did was drink it on ice. Not anymore. I actually quite enjoy it just neat now. But I always liked my drinks cold. I go, who wants to drink a warm drink? You know what I mean? Like, unless it's winter, who wants a warm drink? Nobody. But whiskey's better enjoyed neat, in my opinion. But if it's summertime, I'm by the pool, you're gonna best believe I got a cup of ice with whatever random cheap whiskey I got. So I won't use my expensive stuff on ice because that's just wasteful. But I mean, again, it's your whiskey. Do whatever you want with it. Whiskey with water says, I encourage water with certain whiskeys. Yeah, I mean, however you want to do it. My name is a play on my last name. Well, that's pretty cool. My last name isn't cool at all, so. Artful, or Scott. He doesn't like when I call him Artful, I guess. Scott says, I think it helps to nose with your mouth slightly open, in my opinion. Yes. I used to do that, right? Have your mouth open. One of the weird things that I do, I didn't even notice it. It's like, I like, because I watch myself edit the videos. I'll go like this. I'll blow in it and then go in. I don't know why. I don't think that does too much, but mentally it clears out the ethanol to me. I don't know. It may do nothing, but to me, I do it all the time, apparently. Yeah, I don't know. Also, like, you got to think too, like, if you never tried whiskey before in your life, if you went and grabbed a high proof whiskey and crammed your nose into the glass, all you're going to smell is alcohol because you're not used to it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not encouraging anybody to go just drink a bunch so they can taste whiskey better. But if that's something you want to do, practice makes perfect, you know? I don't know. The more you practice it, the better. And a lot of whiskey professionals, not like YouTubers, I'd say, you know, when they taste whiskey, they spit it out. They spit it in a bucket because they're just tasting. They're not even drinking. That's crazier. Kristen says, sorry I had to step away. Got company showing up for the long weekend. I'm in Jersey. Welcome to Jersey Shore, bitch. It's funny. Well, that's cool. I forgot it was a holiday this weekend, or long weekend. I've had a million things going on over here, so we're just flying by the seat of our pants. But that's cool. I'm glad you have company coming over. I'm glad you are able to enjoy the weekend. We may do something. I don't know. That's I think as far as I got so far as I'm planning to do, if I could set it up, if I get the game in the room, I want to live stream the Panther game tomorrow. Just hang out with you guys. You guys can watch me freak out because we did that a lot last year. Just hang out, watch the games for the Panthers, and it worked. We won the Stanley Cup for it, so I'm kind of superstitious. So I feel like we have to do that. At minimum, the Stanley Cup, like championship games, like we'll have to do that. This round we're already up 2-0, so. But anyways, so yeah, one of the other things too, like obviously you have the B-roll on the screen so you can see it. The label part, I thought it was pretty well thought out. It obviously has Opelika, Alabama on there, handcrafted in. It has his name 2 ways. I think 2 ways, a little much, but that's just me being picky. I like the signature. That's a professional signature. The typing it, you can do without. If you want me to like nitpick it, I like how it says limited edition because it clearly is. But one of the parts I like the most that you don't really see, or at least I don't pay attention to, it says family owned. I really like that part of it. Don't know why. It caught my eye and I go, I like that. This bottom label, I don't really care for. Like I get like it's important because it has the details, and I like how it says one and special series and stuff like that. But I know that's more of like the label that has to be there for like the selling stuff. But I could do without. Cookie Dog says bottle looks nice. I mean, it's a cool looking bottle. He says, "What's your favorite whiskey?" Ooh. I think the way I could answer that is I have a lot of like favorites. I like a lot of whiskey a lot, and like my number one changes from time to time. But if there's ever was one bottle that I would recommend every single person that is a decent price, good for beginners, good for enthusiasts, good for old fashions, good neat, is going to be the Woodford's Double Oak. That's always my go-to recommending for everybody. It's always available at almost every liquor store. Well, now it's under 60 bucks. Sometimes you can find it under 50 if you get lucky. It has more complexity than regular Woodfords. You gotta like oak in that, but like most people kind of do. It has good flavors. It has a chocolate note in there that I like a lot. But I think it's one of the more affordable, readily available, really good whiskeys. My only complaint about it in general is it's just lower proof, which I would love it at a higher proof. So, Scott says, big hockey fan, have been a tough time watching the postseason because the Blues lost horrific fashion. Thankfully, Winnipeg lost, so I'm back. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, it's been a rough season for everybody besides the Panthers so far. It's been touch and go for us too, don't worry, but hopefully. Guys, if you're just now tuning in, make sure to drop a little like on the stream, subscribe if you are new. We go live every Friday. Times may vary, but usually it's around 9 to 10 p.m. Eastern time. And we're going to ramp up production soon. I say that every stream, but eventually it's going to happen. If life would stop trying to fuck me, I would be on top of it. Cookie Dog says, Woodford's Reserve Bourbon? Yes, I'll just pull the bottle over if you really don't know what I'm talking about. This one. I can't get my camera to focus on it. Here, this one. Camera won't focus on that one either. There. Woodford's Reserve Double Oak. Not the regular Woodford's. Like, that one's good too, but like, I'm not necessarily recommending that. If you've never had a single bourbon, then sure. Like, wouldn't be bad because you're only paying like 25, 30 bucks. But the Double Oak is just that much better. Joker says, everyone hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and join the Call Me Old Fashioned family. With all the bourbon facts and hilarious conversations, let's get weird on them late lives. Joker, you ain't lying. We do get a little weird on here sometimes. I think you summed it up pretty spot on though, Joker. As far as like, we go through some bourbon facts. We do our professional portion. We talk some actual tasting notes, some thoughts, some first impressions, stuff like that, which is, a good healthy amount. Then we start getting a little bit weirder. We make some fun. We talk some smack. And then it just goes full blown like, what am I watching? But it's a good time. You can't look away. So we're just getting started. We've only been live for 34 minutes. So Cookie Dog says, okay, thanks. I don't drink whiskey. It's for my brother. Yep. Woodford's Double Oak. It's a good bottle, decent price. I also say like when it comes to like gift giving, like Woodford's is like the right price for a gift, right? Because it's not the cheapest bottle. You buy somebody a bottle and they go in the liquor store and they go, it's the cheapest one I've seen, right? They know you just tried to cheap out on them in a sense. But it's a good healthy middle ground where if they see it, they're like, oh wow, it was like 50 bucks. Like it's like there's whole shelf right here. It's all less stuff, but they went over here and got me a good one. That, and I'd be surprised if they didn't like it. Mixology says, Knob Creek, do you like it? No, not really. Let me rephrase that. I have Knob Creek 9-year, and I don't care for it. It's not bad. I drank it a lot early on when I first got into like bourbon and whiskey. I used to make old fashions with it. I never really complained. It was never my favorite by any means, but it did the job. The more whiskey I have, the less I really like it. I do really like the 12-year, but those are the only two that I've had at this point. I haven't really explored past that, mainly because I just don't really care for it too much, which is crazy because I really like the Jim Beam products. Like I do really like all the cheap ones. Jim Beam Black 7-year, what's the other one? The Double Oak. White label's not horrible. So like it's strange that I don't like the Knob Creeks, but it's just not up my wheelhouse. Ragin says, Woodford's was my go-to bourbon for a while. I would love to see a 105 to 110 proof shelf bottle. Rage, you ain't lying. You said it, I couldn't say it better myself. If they came out with like a 107 or 109, right, something like that of Woodford's Double Oak, I would have a barrel of it. Not even like for like a barrel pick. I just have a barrel in here and I just hook up a straw and I just do my streams like with a straw, just like what you sipping on, like a barrel of Woodford's Double Oak. You know what I mean? Like we get sauced up. Cookie Dog says, my friend had an alcoholic dog, drank beer. My sister's husband one time gave her dog on accident and then just let it happen when he figured out what was happening. A Jaeger bomb. He left his cup on the ground. The cup fell into the dog bowl. Dog drank like a whole Jaeger bomb. It was pretty bad, but Christian says, bro, how do I get my wife into whiskey? Christian, if I knew that, my wife would be sitting here. But I can tell you a few things that my wife has liked, which is like tiptoeing her in. My wife almost refused. Like she almost like likes to not like it, if that makes sense. She's like almost more of a fan, being like, hey, you can't get me to like it, type of thing. She wants to not like it. If your wife even is like remotely being like, hey, I want to like it, just give me something, then the first thing I got was bourbon cream, right? The Buffalo Trace bourbon cream, because it has like notes of bourbon, right? You got to kind of introduce those things to her slowly. Bourbon cream's good. You can do bourbon cream in a hot chocolate with a little bit of Woodford's Double Oak. If you were here for that, it was money. So a little bit of splash of that. She even liked that. Then we moved on to trying to find a whiskey cocktail that she was okay with, which is a lot harder. Now, the whiskey or the fancy Jack Daniels, where I put the cherries and the vanilla syrup and all that, she was almost okay with it. She just didn't like the aftertaste. But the one that she liked that I was actually surprised of was a mint julep. The Old Forester pre-made mint julep. It's like 60 proof, right? And all it is really just mint and simple syrup and bourbon. Old Forester's 86 proof. But she actually really liked that. She was slamming those things. But they get kind of watered down too. So you're really taking that 60 down to like a, I don't know, 40 proof if I had to guess. So it was, but she liked it. And that's kind of where we're at now is you kind of got to introduce the ladies, if they don't like whiskey, through cocktails to begin with. Something frilly, fruity, sweet, just tiptoe them in. And you slowly take away the fruity and frilly. My wife kind of likes the more like White Russian style stuff. So we started with bourbon cream. And then we're kind of just working our way backwards. So eventually, and if I find something, we'll be there. Mixology says, for me, match really good with mixology in a cocktail, like, yeah, classic old fashioned. I wish. My wife hates old fashions. Doesn't matter how I make it, what bourbon or rye I use, she just goes, screw you. Don't like it. She always goes, babe, no, I don't even want to smell it. Because all the time I'm like, babe, what kind of notes you get on here? And she's like, no, get it away from me. Artful says, Raging Old Forester from 1920, same juice as Woodford's. It's rumored that Brown Forman adds Old Forester barrels to the Woodfords. Ooh, big claims, big claims. I don't know about that, so I can't speak on it. Artful Scott says, my wife loves good old-fashioned, but really doesn't go for neat pours. I need some good old-fashioned tips from you. Chocolate old-fashioned. Go back on the videos. Go pull up the chocolate old-fashioned. It's the only time the wife took 2 sips of the old-fashioned. Then she goes, right? Woodford's Double Oak, because it has a chocolate note, and it's the lowest proof one that I know with a chocolate note. Chocolate bitters. Simple syrup? Or no, brown sugar instead of simple syrup. And then cherry. A little bit of extra cherry juice too, because it was like a chocolate covered cherry. And I also did spiced cherry bitters in there as well with the chocolate ones. Ricky in the chat says, love me some neat pours and strong old fashions. Facts. I am gonna soon. It's kind of hard to find the like a peach simple syrup, and I'm just not really wanting to make my own, but I probably will have to. The peach old fashioned's a good idea to get like the ladies into it, right? So I think if I could do peach bitters, peach simple syrup, a little peach garnish, maybe do something else with it as well, I think she would like it. But right now it's more maple than peach. Ricky C says Woodford's Double is the GOAT. All facts. Scott says it's on the process of binging the old Call Me Old Fashioned videos. Take some time. It does take some time. I would say maybe not the live streams, because those kind of like, I mean, we just kind of get hammered on those. But videos, the shorts, those got some pretty decent information, I think. Whiskey Water says, Old Fashioned will always be my favorite cocktail. So many different kinds of bitters out there now. So the whole reason the channel is called Call Me Old Fashioned is because I originally didn't care to drink whiskey neat. Originally. I was always kind of on the hunt to find the best old fashioned. What bitters is the best? Which simple syrups are the best? Which cherries go the best? Which bourbon is the best that goes in? And then we found rye. You know what I mean? Like, it was just like so many different ways you can make one cocktail, and it's pretty impressive what each. If you take out one thing and add in one other, how drastically it changes that drink. The changes as well, what kind of wood chips you use if you smoke it. Like, there's so many different combinations. And that's really what started all of this. Now, granted, I will say, because I'm a little bit older, an old fashioned sometimes it kind of hits me right in the hangover spot, where the simple syrups and stuff like that just kind of don't sit right if I drink too many. So, but 100%, if I'm out in public at any kind of cocktail bar, I won't order anything else other than an old fashioned. It's just, that's my go-to. That's what I want. You know, if somebody ordered me a Manhattan, I wouldn't be mad. It wouldn't be my favorite, but I'll drink it. If I'm at like a dive bar or or Hooters, because Hooters doesn't know how to make drinks worth of shit, then I may go like Jack and Coke style. But besides that, Scott says, I need some shelfers that make good old fashions, not 13th Colony Double Oak, LOL. Okay. Old Granddad 114, really good old fashioned, also really great budget bottle. Benchmark Foolproof, another great budget bottle that makes really good old fashions. Woodford's Double Oak, Peerless Double Oak as well. Still Austin Cast Strength, and Green River Foolproof. Even Heaven Hill Bottom Bond makes a great old fashioned too. But yeah, those are all, I think, shelfers, except for the Peerless. Sazerac Rye is a good cheap shelfer. I have actually never had the Sazerac Rye. I'm not the biggest rye person, and I do like a lot of ryes, but I don't typically like them in old fashions unless I'm making like a rye directed old fashioned, which usually doesn't go with the sweetness that I typically am going with. Jet MC says banana pancake old fashioned, 2 ounces of rye old fashioned, ½ ounce banana liqueur, 1/4 maple syrup, 3 dashes of black walnut bitters. Fuck, that sounds good. I don't have banana liqueur. I have maple syrup and I have black walnut bitters, but I don't have the banana part, which the only issue with the banana liqueur, I wish we could make like a banana simple syrup. I don't even think you can with bananas though, can you? Because that would be cool. Ricky C says, use less syrup on the old fashioned, less hangover. I agree, and I have been using less. It just, I don't know, just something about it. I don't drink sugar like almost at all, so I don't really drink sodas like that. I don't really drink, anything with a ton of sugar. It's just not. It has been my style in a long time. I'll do one randomly here and there. So the only time I really do it is when I have old fashioned. So it just doesn't sit right all the time. Okay, I'm getting old. Whiskey with Water says, I'll do a whiskey sour if it's made with egg white. Yeah, but how many times I go to a bar and they don't make it with the egg whites? And I'm like, it's not a real whiskey sour. Real whiskey sour is phenomenal, but it's almost never made right. So Ricky C said at a dive bar, I drink straight up neat stuff. At a dive bar, they almost don't have anything that I want neat because I'm not drinking Old Number 7 neat. I'm just throwing that out there. Ooh, use banana runt candies to make simple syrup, but it was super sweet. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do to get a little banana pancake old fashioned. It just sounds good. I will say, I did make an old fashioned. I was on Artful's live stream, and somebody in his chat said, "Hey, they made a rye old fashioned with a bar spoon of honey and what bitters? And orange bitters, orange honey blossom, honey, and rye." Just saying, it was good. It was sweet. It was sweet, but it was good. So I made that last weekend. Joker says we're really cooking tonight on the drinks. What do you mean? Like we're talking about a lot of drinks, or you think I have a lot? Ricky says I drink sugar in my coffee and my old fashions, and whatever sugar there is in chocolates or ice cream. I don't drink anything in my coffee besides coffee. I don't put cream. I don't put sugar. The more bitter, the better. I use ice. I only drink iced coffee. I don't drink hot coffee because I'm weird. So, I mean, ice cream, like that's different. You're kind of eating it, right? I mean, because I like some ice cream and some chocolates, but even the chocolate, I typically like the intense dark from Ghirardelli. That's like basically sugarless. It's not sugarless, but close enough. Where's Tux at? I think he's driving somewhere. I'm not 100% sure. Let me check the Discord. Somebody in the Discord says, come to the bourbon drop. I got the needle or haystack needle for you to try. I said, mother of God, you know how to sell somebody. It's like, I'd love to go try that. Jet says, Widow Jane Apple Rye has been my favorite base for an old-fashioned and Bardstown origin, which is finished with cherry wood. You know, the Widow Jane Applewood Rye looks enticing, where I've almost bought it so many times. I just never pulled the trigger. I like the Widow Jane 10-year. I'm not in love with it or anything. I think it's a little overpriced for what it is, but I like it. It's drinkable for sure. So the Applewood Rye, I feel like, would be probably pretty cool. Ricky says, time to get some bourbon. Be right back. It's weird that you didn't already have it, but okay. Joker says, talking about a lot of drinks tonight. Some great mixes I'm going to try. You know what's crazy? We're talking a lot about cocktails and stuff tonight, but usually nobody cares about the cocktail talk. And that's usually what I'm talking about the most. They're like, screw you. What's the tasting notes, damn it? And I'm like, I don't know. All right. So we talked a little bit about the Oak Bowery. Just because I still have the B-roll, I'm going to drink a pour of the Frey Ranch. Because, one, it's good. But two, why not? Bro, my ribs are still killing me. I'm kidding. I was so fucking lit up the last time I was drinking this. I just kept going farm strength. The Widow Jane definitely has some weird funkiness to it, but like, I still was okay with it. Like, it was not as bad as some of the stuff I've had with like some funky mineral taste, but it was, I don't know. The one I had, I was okay with it. Ricky says, ooh, that looks yummy. The Frey Ranch Farm Strength actually is one of, it's up there. Not like my favorite, but like it's up there for me. Like it hits the right notes. It had like a cupcake note last time. It's also like, what's the proof on this thing? 123.88 proof. Bro, I hammered like that much of this bottle plus some other stuff of 123 proof. That's a lot for me in like a normal night. Because we weren't live that long. We were making cocktails and stuff like that though. Jet says, Widow Jane Bourbon is sourced, but the rye is their own distillate, so it's worth trying both. Jet, you work for Widow Jane? What are you out here selling, my boy? I didn't know that, actually. I thought it was both their own distillate. Scott says, I'm with you. I'm pouring that farm strength up now. Haven't had it since last summer. I don't know. It's really good. I don't know if I could go that long. I like it. I like it a lot. How much was this one? $80, $79.99, I think. And $80 for like a small distillery. It's basically their cask strength, but it's called farm strength, 123 proof. It's unique. It's a little bit different, but also still has some familiarity that like makes you feel okay with it, you know. Mash bill on this, I'm sure it's going to be rotating on there, but it's 66.6% dent corn, 10% winter wheat, 11.4% winter rye, and 12% two-row barley malted on site. So it's different. It's unique. The mash bill is different. Frey Ranch got some cool stuff. I was looking for the rye farm strength today. I didn't find it, but Scott says, I think Frey Ranch bottles might be one of the most lethal bottles in whiskey. Bro, it is hefty. This thing, if somebody breaks in my house, no joke, like if I'm not near something I can't say on YouTube apparently, I'm army crawling to the room and I'm grabbing this bottle and we're going to town. You know what I mean? Like one shot, they're never getting up again for sure. Just the base alone, like honestly, like when I get done drinking this bottle, I may fill it up with water and keep dropping it to see how long it breaks because I don't think it's got to be indestructible. Bro, like listen to this, just for clarity. Here's the Eagle Rare. Dense bottle. So I'm with you on that. Ricky said 60. No. So this is, you can get their just regular straight bourbon whiskey for like 50, 60 bucks. Their farm strength is like typically $79.99, like 80-ish bucks. So Ricky said, nice. That bottle likes to be manhandled. Nice farm strength hands, basically, you know? It's not me, but somebody out there. Bro, the cork alone, you're not, yeah, bro, like, the cork's made with, like, whatever used to make Captain America's shield, you know? I will say, cork pop on this bottle, the farm strength, kind of weak. Kind of just not hitting right. But the juice makes up for it. Na 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 na. Oh Lord, boys. Chase says, hey, big boys. Hey. Vibranium cork. That's what it is. We found the metal from Wakanda. Facts. Artful says, I love the farm to glass approach. So many YouTubers have hated on that brand, but I'm loving what they're doing. I wish they distribute in Missouri. People dislike this bottle? I'm kind of with you on that. Like, I like that. Like, it's like farm to bottle, farm to glass, farm to table, whatever you want to call it. I don't care. Like, it has more details on this bottle than anything. More than I've seen in a while. It tells you which batch, the proof, the alcohol by volume. Then it tells you the mash bill, like in multiple different spots. It's got a lot packed into this one label. I like how like the stuff's branded on there. I don't know. I like it a lot. I'm a big fan of the Frey Ranch stuff. Now I still got to try the rye, but for this bottle alone, I don't know who would dislike this. Like, I think if somebody actually likes bourbon and whiskey, there's no way you could be like, nah, this is gross. Like, fuck out of here. This is great juice. Bree says, big because we're sitting here watching. You caught me. Big bottle equals big boys. Big bottles? These aren't. I like big bottles and I cannot. I mean, these are just normal 750 milliliters, but I mean, I like where we're at. Jay says, I like the farmed bottle. Being honest, I wasn't a fan of the expression. I had a unique experience. Really? You didn't like the bottle? You know what? And sometimes when people say they don't like a bottle that I like, I'm like, no, I really like that. I'm almost curious, like, do I just have like a one-off really good bottle? Or do you just not like the bottle in general? You know? There's no way for me to know that because I can't try the same bottle you guys are trying. I can only try what I have. So sometimes that stuff kind of just throws me off. Jess says, has anyone tried Whiskey Acres? Same concept as Frey Ranch. They grow their own grains and distill on the farm. I think they're going to stop. I think we're going to stop by on the road trip to Illinois. Nope. I've never even heard of them. But if they're doing something similar, I'd love to try them. There's a lot of like really small local distilleries that I'd love to try, but like, granted, if they're not getting distribution in Florida or at least close, like there's probably no shot I get to try it unless they send it to me. And a lot of people don't send me that stuff. Buffalo Trace is really the only one that sent me any bottles besides Shady Mile. Shady Mile sent me something to try way back when, and then Buffalo Trace sent me a signed bottle of Travelers. So besides that, we're not that popular. Oh, and Limestone. Limestone, right? Is that what it's called? Limestone Farms? Yeah, Limestone Farms. They sent me like a little sample kit. Really good stuff. Some I liked, some I didn't like. One that I actually loved, and I absolutely just demolished it. Oh, I just don't like whiskey. Well, okay, Chase. What kind of vodka do you like? Or I'm glad you're here, Chase, but I'm also kind of confused of why. I think you're messing with me, right? You were messing with me last time. It's hard to keep up. Hard to keep up sometimes. You know what you should try if you really don't like whiskey? In Tennessee, in Pigeon Forge, they have a like a bar / distillery, and what the vodka is called Bam Bam. If you just look up Bam Bam vodka, you'll be able to find it. It's like District or Route or something like that is the name of the place. But it's like a fruity pebble vodka. It's actually really good. Ricky C says opinions on Travelers, overpriced for the pretentious. Travelers is not good, but it is good for a very small class of people. People who really like Canadian whiskey, people really new to whiskey that just want to try something, right? Or really big Chris Stapleton fans, because it is a really cool looking bottle. I like the map on the inside. It has a really cool story to it. To me, I like that aspect. That's why I wanted it. It wasn't even about the juice on the inside. I like the story. I love Chris Stapleton. Buffalo Trace, cool brand. But in reality, it was a money grab by Buffalo Trace. Put Chris Stapleton's name on there. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like a weird thing. But the juice on the inside absolutely sucks for anybody that's really into whiskey. So, no, I wouldn't even buy it. I don't care what the price goes down to. I still have one bottle that I opened. I won't drink it. I'm going to give it away. Then I have my signed one, and I'll probably never even open that. So, Chopsticks in the house. Ricky says, I like the regular Buffalo Trace. Excellent near or in old fashions. I mean, I love Buffalo Trace. Nothing wrong with it. It's nice, light, sweet. It is good in old fashions. Typically what a lot of the bars around here will have for like just their basic old fashions now. Like if you go say, hey, what's your house old fashioned? It's usually Buffalo Trace. Chase says, I'm messing with you. Travelers is a waste of good money. And no, I don't like the Frey Ranch. Isn't Starlight Farm the glass. Starlight? I can't remember off the top of my head. Have I had anything from Found North yet? I have not. I almost bought a bottle today, but my budget wasn't that big. So, you want to hear something crazy too? You guys let me know. Maybe I should go back, and I can't go back tomorrow if you guys all tell me I'm absolutely nuts, but obviously I'll only be honest. I went to a liquor store today, and they had a store pick of Blanton's Gold, and the price was $200. Now, it was only priced at $200 if you also use your points at the store, and you had to use like 350 points, which means I had to have spent $350 to buy a Blanton's Gold for $200. And I'm pretty sure that's above MSRP. So I was like, I have to pay $350 through points. Then I also have to pay like secondary. I was not a fan of that. So I was like, I'm out. Like, I like that it was a store pick, but like, come on. Like, what are we doing? So I didn't get it. But I don't know too much about Blanton's Gold either. Like, I know about Blanton's. I never really cared to look into them. I will say the wife, like when we're just watching the games, when I'm not live, I'll have the wife come in this room and I give her full access. I grab any bottle on the shelf anywhere as long as it's open. I don't typically have some that are unopened, but every once in a while, I'll say grab any bottle, pour it in a Glen, hand it to me, and I'm going to guess what it is. I'm going to give you taste notes. That's how I kind of like practice. It's also fun for her because it includes her in it, and she's like, oh, I want to see if he's going to get it right. The more that we do, the less and less I actually get because I start to get blasted. But yeah, the other day she picked out Blanton's, and I was like, wow, this has like this really sweet, like red fruit note. It had like a little bit more than I remember to it, and I was like, I actually really like this. I was like, I don't think it's worth much. I was like, this seems like a really good, like middle to like high end budget, low end middle ground bottle. I was like, but I really like it. She goes, it's Blanton's. I go, oh fuck, like I didn't expect that at all. But yeah, Joker says, I honestly don't know shit about bourbon. I'm not a fan at all in the jump, but listening and watching the shorts, being active on the lives, I've tried more bourbon and it's starting to grow on me. Joker, it's the beginning of the end for you, bud. The more you like it, the more the pockets hate it. No, it's a fun little hobby. I never tell anybody to go crazy with it. Don't buy as much as I have in this room. It's not worth that. I like it because I review it and I do stuff like that. But to me, I was really big into history in school. It's one of the things I like. So like learning about a bottle, learning about what it took to get that bottle, especially with like these smaller distilleries. Like it's really cool to just be like, hey, how did they get there? Right? And I don't have to talk about it all on like YouTube all the time. I like to just look it up. It's fun for me. And I also like how like every bourbon in a sense has to follow like some set of rules. So they only have this much margin to make it different, and they can make it drastically different by little things. And I just find that very interesting. So that part kind of grows on me. The part aspect of like making different cocktails was fun. So that's just kind of how it all kind of grew on to me. But everybody's different, so it's fun. Fun little hobby. Jess says, Blanton's Gold would be a no. I might spend that if it was straight from the barrel. That's what I was saying. I was like, if it's straight from the barrel, $200, I'm okay with it. Or like a little bit less, I'd be okay with it. Scott says, Blanton's Gold actually isn't bad. I think that it's a good pour. I think it's a good proof point for the mash bill. You just can't find it at a decent price. Not worth more than $120. Yeah, I don't know what MSRP is on it, but I don't think it's $200. So that's what I was kind of ticked about. I was like, why am I like, if you want to just sell it to me for $200, like I understand, like that's just what you price it as. But you're telling me I have to earn the privilege to buy it at $200 when I don't even think that's the price. I was just kind of pissed that he was trying to charge me my points to buy it like that. Juan, welcome to the stream, baby. He says, good evening, guys and gals. Ricky says, my friend of mine just buys bourbon because he likes hunting rare bottles, and he sells them to friends for the price he paid. That's a weird friend, but also like kind of cool. If he's selling it to you for secondary or for a profit, that's I don't care for that. Like I get like people flip bottles and stuff like that, but like to me, it's just kind of stupid. Like I don't know. I'm just not a like I get it. I understand why. I just feel like that's kind of just pointless, right? Because eventually you're gonna buy a bunch of a bottle that doesn't hit, and you're gonna lose your money. It's almost like gambling. So whatevs. Rick said, "Oh, I read that." Joker says, "My vice and bank killer are my guns." Hey, there we are. The liar in the chat says, "When a guy is doing doing missionary, he's basically twerking." Hey, it is what it is, you know. Juan says, also, lower proof Blanton straight from the barrel is great. I have 121 proof. That is money. That's what I'm saying. Like I like the regular small batch or single barrel Blantons, but it's not like spectacular to me. But I also have a feeling that I would probably have a little bit shift in my mindset about Blantons if I tried a straight from the barrel. But I'm not hunting it. I like good bottles, but I don't care for a lot of the hype stuff too much. Like I don't care about the hype portion. I just want to know if it's good or not. You know, so Jay says, I stepped off into a whole different world today. I bought my first dusty bottle of wild turkey. You're going down a rabbit hole I don't think you come back from. Ricky says, my wife agrees with your twerking assessment. Bruce says, 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10 on which one? I got to change my camera battery real quick. Let's see. Yeah, 1 out of 10 on this one. The Frey Ranch? I don't know. Depends on like how much room do we give it. I like the proof a lot. I like the flavors a lot. I really did like it in our old fashioned. I've already tried that. Let's go 8.2, right? 8.2 seems fair to me. Like I feel like you should, like if you're really into bourbon and whiskey, I feel like this is a bottle that you're like, hey, we should probably at least try it once. Dip your toes in, hunt it a little bit. Don't break your back for it. Don't pay secondary for it or anything like that. It shouldn't be on the secondary. But I think for that high of a proof, that much uniqueness, $80 is a solid price. Chase says those bottle cam shots are seriously good. It's almost like I have a full-blown videography business, right? It'd be crazy. Crazy. These aren't even that good. They're all crooked. I'm very judgmental of my own work, but I did it in like 10 minutes. Juan says, how's the Frey Ranch? Still a bottle I need to try? Yeah. It's a bottle you should go pick up. Ricky says, good night all. Ricky, good night, bud. Appreciate you stopping by. As always, we'll see you next time. Joker says, call me old fashioned. Do you know any other content creators in your area who does bourbon you got beef with? Ha ha ha. I don't have beef with anybody yet. Not really trying to either, but I mean, get it. What's up? I'm kidding. Kind of. I mean, if somebody wanted to have beef, they can have it. I don't care. I don't get fazed by a lot of that kind of stuff, though. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what do I care? There's not a lot of bourbon creators around me that I know of, but I also kind of just hang out in my own little house, you know? I have a kid, so like, I don't really explore too much. I've talked to a few random creators here and there, but everybody's kind of so far away. It's not like we really do much. Um, eventually, when I kind of iron out a few details, I'm probably going to start trying to have on a couple of the creators onto either the live stream, whether if that's we pick a bottle and we talk about it, or if we do something fun. I don't know. We haven't thought that far yet, but in the future, probably later this year, we're going to do something with some different creators. Eric says the single barrels are crazy, especially the rye. Hey, here we go. Bruce says I like making old fashioned, so I will try. Thanks. A little old fashioned with a Frey Ranch is actually really good. It's a little pricey for old fashions, I will say. $80. But again, price is subjective. Like if you're okay with that, we're all okay with that. To kind of balance the scales, maybe get some benchmark foolproof to also make a cheap old fashioned that is pretty good too. Or Old Granddad 114. Chase says bourbon content creators don't have beats, they just clickbait. I mean, that's facts. I mean, it's hard for a bunch of people that are drinking to get mad at each other for more than 5 seconds. You know what I mean? Like, they'll just either like get too drunk and they'll forget, or they'll just or they just got mad when they had a buzz and they're like, I'm so sorry, I miss you. It's Eric, but spelled funny. I kind of like it, Eric. Eric? I give everybody weird names. And I'm also dyslexic, guys. Like, you can't beat me up too much. Appreciate you correcting me, Eric. But yeah, Frey Ranch, solid bottle. I'm getting the rye. I gotta find it though. Thoughts on the E.H. Taylor rye? I have never had it, but let's break into a rye. What kind of rye do you guys want me to sip on? I'm gonna pull over a couple you guys can choose. We got Heaven Hill Grain to Glass rye. We have my current favorite, the Redwood Empire Rocket Top rye. Let's see. Little Still Austin. And we'll pull down one more. Let's do New Rift, 8-year rye. So I've done a blind with almost all the ryes that I have, except for the Heaven Hill. I got that after that blind. Originally, I wasn't a big rye fan at all. I actually really hated rye. I had a couple of the Willets that I didn't like, a couple other random ones that just wasn't for me. And eventually, I can't remember which one it was. I think it might have been which one was it actually? Oh, it was the Bardstown rye. The Origin Series rye kind of slowly got me back into it. What else did I have? I also have the Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Proof rye. That one's pretty good too. Joker said, I missed a couple. Eric says, it's not that great. Frey Ranch and Jack Daniel's are much better. I mean, I like the E.H. Taylor. It's like, it did win one of my blinds, but I personally like, when I know what I'm drinking, I like the Eagle Rare the best. So unless there's an Eagle Rare rye, I'm not dying. I'm not like the biggest Buffalo Trace like fanboy. Like, I like it. It's good. And if I can get it for like a good price, like I'll pick it up. But I don't hunt Buffalo Trace like that. Joker says, hey, call me old fashioned where I work. Don't do that to me, bro. That's messed up. I feel attacked now. Jet says, I wonder if George T's Stag is worth the price tag. I hear mixed things, so it just depends on when somebody says, is it worth the price? That's subjective. Because I can say I'm okay with the price, but it doesn't mean you're okay with the price, you know? So I can tell you if it's good or not. Shay says, Still Austin cast strength rye is fire. I know. I still need to get it. I don't have that one. I just have the straight rye. Everybody's saying it's still Austin, so maybe we crack into the still Austin. Oh, I did do the Redwood Empire Grizzly Beast last live. I did. I love Redwood Empire still. I don't talk about them as much because everybody kind of got pissy with me. They're like, all you talk about is Redwood Empire. And I was like, well, I bought like 10 bottles, like back to back of Redwood Empire. So I wanted to talk about each bottle. Eric said, love the aged bourbon. The rye just doesn't hit the same. Artful says, Jet, I don't think the Heaven Hill. Oh. Oh, I'm stupid. Grain to glass. I thought it meant George C. Sack. No, the grain to glass is really good. I don't remember what I paid for it, but I remember being okay with this. Because mine's like 123 proof, really good flavors. Whatever I paid it for it, I was okay with it. Is there ryes that are almost or just as good for less? Yes, but I'm not mad at this purchase by any means. Scott says, I think the New Rift 8-year rye is the best in that group. The Redwood Empire Rocket Top would have came out number 1 for me, or maybe even this one. Then probably the New Rift probably would have came in third. This one probably would have came in last. And like, it's gonna make me sound like I'm like some kind of proof whore, but it's just because the proof's a little low on this one. That's why I know I need to get the cask strength. I love the cask strength bourbon from Still Austin. I'm honestly on a hunt for anything and everything Still Austin. I've seen some stuff hit the unicorn auctions where they have a double oaked Still Austin. If I wasn't like needing to go buy a new car because I wrecked my other one, I would have paid the $600 and got it. I just really want it. Eric says Haystack Needle is one of my favorite bourbons. I'm very jealous that you said that because I got the email early on from Redwood Empire saying, hey, if you want to buy these, here you go. Here's an early link. And I said, I'm okay. Because I just did a heavy shopping spree on bourbon. And then I got the link. And I was like, I really don't want to spend like another 100 or 250 bucks. So I was like, it probably won't sell out because they almost never did. And they sold out really quick. So I haven't had it. And I want them. But it's like the one that got away. Because I have almost every other Redwood Empire. Besides the cask strength Emerald Giant, but that's because I don't care for the Emerald Giant too much. Like, it's good, but it's not my favorite. And I don't have the Foggy Bureau just because I don't care for the single malts too much. John Garrett says Belvedere is bomb. I think that's what I said, and moved off. Chase says, I'm on Still Austin's mailing list. They release some very interesting stuff that always distillery only. Everything's distillery only of like the stuff that I want. I did finally get the I'm sure you guys have seen me talk about the Still Austin Tanger. Delicious, bro. Delicious. Super happy I got that. Super happy I have that. Like, it's hard to explain when I get those bottles that I'm like, I almost am sad that I'm drinking it because I'm like, it's going to go away eventually. How'd I get the Tanger, but I can't get the cask strength? The cask strength around me, they just sell out because they're a good price. I can get the bourbon all the time. The rye cask strength, sometimes like ryes around me, they don't stock up because it's one of two things. Either they don't sell that well, so stores don't like keep them stocked, or it's kind of the opposite. They're just really like fair price and people buy the shit out of them. Yeah, Eric, I know that. Only Haystack Needles and the Small Lot series are non-source juice. That was before though, and the Pipe Dream 101 is not sourced either. That's their own distillate, and everything coming out of the distillery now is their own distillate. So, yeah, if you tried it previously, it was sourced. It's pricey. How much is it, John? How much is it? What is pricey? Oh my God, what'd I do? I don't fuck the whole thing up here. What are we doing? There we go. Back to normal. I don't have any of like the fancy B-roll of the other stuff. So, ooh. There we go. Joker says Haystack Needles 8 years and $80 online. That can't be true. Send me the link. Because I believe it's like 120 was MSRP. He's like, I think the 101 had more / older Redwood Empire juice in the blend. It is a different blend. It's not the actual Pipe Dream mash bill. It has a different, I can't remember what it was. But the mash bill is slightly tweaked. So, but yeah. $60. That's not that expensive. I mean, $60 is a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. Like, that's not cheap, but that's not like obscene. One thing about Still Austin too that I actually really like is like I like how their artworks are done by local artists. It just kind of fits the vibe of like what I'd want on my shelf. It's like something cool, creative. 21 years is more. Yeah, MSRP for Haystacks like 120. See, Eric. I knew. Bro. Dude is here sharing the Woodford Baccarat. Sorry, texting. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a while. Have you guys switched bottles? What are you guys sipping on now? Are you drinking a cocktail? You drinking a neat? What are we working with on your side? The Still Austin is nice, but this is like one of the things that I typically like is like when I start to drink something, I like to kind of slowly work my way up the proof and then kind of end off with a cocktail of some kind and then kind of just end it there. I don't typically like to go like proof like this because it just takes away from the lower proof bottles. So this is 99.6 proof for just their baseline rye, which isn't a bad proof point. But after having like 2 or 3 different pours of like 120, like it just we're almost 30 points off here. Well, 20 points off. Google says 101 thing AI Overlord says it's all source juice. I stand corrected. I could have swore, though, that when it came out, they posted saying, hey, this is like one of the first ones that's completely 100% zero not sourced, straight from our distillery. I could have swore that's what I saw from them, but I could be wrong. It's on a Nabit Wine Store website for $80. Don't do that. Don't buy it. Chase said he's sipping on some Elijah Craig Barrel Proof B20 or B525. Here we go. It's been a while since I've had some Elijah Craig. I feel like Elijah Craig was like super hyped up for a while, and everybody was drinking, everybody wanted it, and all of a sudden it just died. Arvo says, I still do not like the Still Austin Standard Rye at all. I think it's 100% rye. The cask strength is much better. I imagine the cask strength is much better. I'm not knocking that. Yeah, it says made with 100% Texas grown rye grains. I mean, I don't dislike it, but it's not my favorite. It doesn't have really a lot to it. Just kind of hangs around. I will say it does not make a good old fashioned. Respectfully. It doesn't. I've had a few. It just doesn't. It's not what I would ever use for an old fashioned. Eric says each Taylor rye, Jack Daniel's single barrel proof ryes, now Smoke Eye Hill cask, batch 2, 134 proof, I think. Oh, so you're hitting the ryes up pretty heavy tonight then, huh? Okay. Joker says, call me old fashioned. Are you sipping on McKenna Tenure at all? No. I have one still. Let's do this. Because I give this bottle some shit, you know? So this is my second bottle that I bought of this. You can see how much I've drank of it. Almost none. I've had like 2 or 3 small pours. The first bottle I had was actually really great. Really good stuff. So I was like, ooh, I need another one, right? Gotta have another. And I bought this one. And I tried it, and I was like, that's gross. Like, it was not good. And I said maybe it needs to sit, whatever. And it just never became good. Like, even like through small little sips here and there, it just. And then I kind of sort of did some research on the Henry McKenna, and that the variants in the bottles are so drastically different from one another that, like, who wants to spend $50 to $60 on a what if it's great or not good at all? So we'll pour it up here in a second. We'll give it another shot. You know, time maybe changes everything, but I don't know. The first one I had, I was actually really impressed with. I liked it a lot. Second one, I just wasn't a fan. Recently had a sample sent to me of a store pick New Riff rye that was absolutely fantastic. I think it was only about 5.5 years old. Very impressive. New Riff's single barrels are incredible. My favorite. I have 4 bottles up there. I have the New Riff 8-year bourbon, the 8-year rye. I have the barrel proof sherry finish, and I have a New Riff single barrel from Total Wine. Or actually, it might have been from Costco. One of the two, I can't remember. Or Publix. Who the fuck's it from? I don't know. It's from one of those. And it's 110.6 proof. By far my favorite New Riff. It's just really good. The proof's a little bit more, it just gives you what you want. Now, my go-to lately for old fashions has been the New Riff 8-year. Don't know why. It just makes a really good old fashioned. So, let's put back a grain of glass. moly. Well, that glass is not working for me. There we go. Scott, I agree. Old Forster. I mean, that was a good cork pop. I will give it that. This one. It's bottled about 100 proof. What am I talking about? I knew that. Yeah, it's kind of harsh on the nose. It does have like this nice like sweet note in here. It's good, but it's like not at the same time. Like if that like I don't know. Like it's just kind of like middle of the road there. But it's I think part of the issue is I had a really great bottle the first time. The flavors were so intense as far as like it just kind of punched you left and right with flavor, and this one like it's like basic bourbon. It's like 100 proof vanilla caramel sweet. You know what I mean? Like nothing else to it. And it's got like this harshness to it now. The harshness wasn't there originally, so I don't know what that is. It could be oxidation. It could be whatever. To be honest, this is on my list. I'm giving this away to a friend. Everything I kind of throw on this bottom shelf down there, I just need to make room for more stuff. And unfortunately, like a lot of my lower end stuff and the stuff I don't like, I'm just gonna give away. You know, I wish I could give it away to you guys, but I can't give you guys open bottles that have been drank. You know what I mean? And I also don't want to give you guys bad whiskey just because I don't like it. It's not bad. It's just not what I want. So Scott says, coming old fashioned, I've stopped wasting time on McKenna's. They're more miss than hit. That's my issue, right? If I could have them all hit, I would keep it on the shelf and I would drink it probably quite often. But $50 is not a small amount of money for most people. And if you're telling me $50 is like gambling, saying, hey, you could get a good bottle or you could get a crap bottle, a little bit to risk and not know what you're getting. So to me, that kind of just turns me off. Scott says for 75, it's a bad gamble. See, we're on the same page. So got more bad bottles than good. 75 is way too much for that. I know it was like 50 for me. I don't know. It's a weird dynamic, you know. So I try to give you guys my honest thoughts. I don't really want to recommend bourbon if I don't like it. And when I tried it originally, I liked it. I liked it a lot. I liked it a lot. I just don't care for it now. It just doesn't fit right, you know. So I don't know. It kind of is what it is there. I wish it was good, you know. I wish I could be like, oh, go buy it. This is amazing, because I wish it was. Let's do one more pour. For anybody that knows my collection, or can see it for that matter, because there's shelves that go this way, this way, this way, and all of that. If you have something you think I should drink for, let's just call it the last pour. We'll call it out. Let's get it going. I don't know. I feel like I have a good amount of Penelopes. Let's do a favorite, double oaked. I mean, I feel like I always drink the double double towards the end of the night, which is not giving it justice. So let's not do that one. I don't really want the 13th colony right now. Aaron says Woodford's. Oh, chocolate whisper redux. So that sounds. I'm okay with that. That's good. That's a good choice. Shit me biscuits. I'm out of Glens. Actually, let's use this one. STV Cobra says Woodford's double double. See, I would do the double double, but it's only 90.4 proof, and I've drank pretty much all high proof stuff tonight, besides the Eagle Rare I started with, and then the Still Austin. But everything else was like 120, so I know it just wouldn't do it justice. I just spilled like $4 of it for sure. So I think this is a little bit better of a choice. This is Woodford's highest proof they ever released, the Chocolate Whisper Redux for 2025. It is a 139.4 proof. Delicioso. You know what I mean? Like it's... let me see if I still have it. Aaron says, yes, it is. I mean, I'm here for it all. I really like these little distillery series bottles. Limit release stuff. They just came out with one that was bro, call in here. Bro, you got to do better than that and try to catch me up, my guy. I can't remember what they just like a tawny port was their distillery series release that was recent. I imagine it's good. I probably won't be able to get it, but I do have obviously they're toasted, and then the sherry finish. The sherry's really good. Both of those are 90.4, so I'm not going to crack into those tonight. But maybe we do a live stream where we just try to drink somewhere under 100 proof, and then we can drink everything, and it all kind of be on the same playing ground, you know. What's your opinion on Elmer T. Lee? Just picked up a new bottle. Haven't tried it yet. I've never tried Elmer T. Lee for a couple of reasons. One, anytime I've found it, it is so overpriced that I will not pay for it. I hear it's good though, but I don't hear anything where it's like gonna blow you out of the water. I think it's just a really good impression of Buffalo Trace versus like where like Stag, for example, has all that proof and a lot of flavor. So some people were like, hey, like it's worth paying that extra in that kind of scenario, where Elmer is just not, it just doesn't do that. Cole says, good job. I mean, you can try again, but you know what I mean? I find it funny though. Sometimes, like, how many people come in here and try to trip me up. I'm drinking. These guys still can't do it. You know what I mean? I miss my guy Joe. Right, Joe. He always comes in and says, like Joe Mama. That guy's my favorite. He hasn't been here in a while, but he's the only one I'll let slide. You know. Everybody else, they got to work harder. I like most of the Buffalo Trace stuff though. Like I like the Eagle Rare, E.H. Taylor's. Blanton's isn't bad. I like Stag a lot. I like the Benchmark Full Proof. The Single Barrel and the Bonnet aren't bad, but I'd much rather have the Full Proof. Eagle Rare is probably going to be my go-to on any of that stuff. But overall, like, it's all very similar. So, like, I get it's hyped up and I get it's good, but I'd much rather have like one of those bottles and then other bottles. So Aaron says, I ended up getting that fragrance, farm strength. And did you open it yet? What's the thoughts? Give me 1 out of 10. Like, I don't, whatever you want to do. I liked it a lot. Somebody came in here and said they didn't like it earlier. So I didn't realize people didn't like it. I liked it a lot, though. Honestly, like, I'm like right now, like for YouTube reasons, right? I have to think, what did I buy this year? What's going to be my top going into this year? Now, other people are going to do like what's the best of 2024, and they're going to only count the bottles that were released in 2024, best of 2025, and do that. I'm not going to do that because logically, you know what I mean. Like it doesn't make sense for me to do that. So I only go based off what I bought this year. What I bought this year that are going to be up there is going to be the Russells, 13th Colony, Still Austin Tanger. The Frey Ranch is up there in the top 10 for sure. So is this Woodford's. Those are up there. Which other ones? The Woodford's Double Double's up there, but that's more for nostalgic reasons. The Woodford's Master Collection, the 121.2 proof, that one's up there too. Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Barrel Proof Rye and the Old Forester 1924 are both up there for me. But those are going to be behind that for Ranch for sure. He's rating it a 7. I think I rated it 8.2 or 8.3, something like that. I liked it a lot. I liked the proof. I liked the flavors. I liked how it was a little bit different, like with that weird cupcake type note. So it's just a little bit more unique. That's what kind of boosts that rating up for me. It's like it is a little bit different than everything else I have on the shelf, but also being very similar in some regards. So Joker says, hello, cats call me old-fashioned slipping. Just write a long comment and watch the stress kick in. Bro, you're not lying. Somebody write a paragraph. I'll just skip it at this point. So it wasn't bad. Wasn't bad. I mean, hey, to each his own. That's one thing that's really cool about whiskey and bourbon in general is everybody kind of has their own palate, their own taste buds, right? And they figure out what they like, right? I always kind of use, he's never in here anymore. He must not like us. JC, the Rye Guy, was his most recent name last time I was in here. But his palate was completely opposite to mine. So you can almost go like, hey, whatever you say you like, I know I won't like. And kind of the opposite. If he's like, hey, I really like this bottle, I know I'm not going to like it. More than likely. Or at least it won't be my favorite. So it's kind of cool to be like, hey, the longer you watch, the more you understand what I personally like, what my favorites are, what tasting notes I kind of gravitate towards. And you can figure out if those are going to be kind of up your alley or if it's just completely off, you know. AB says, I'm sipping on Buffalo Trace right now. Buffalo Trace is like really good. Just sit there and sip it without having to stress about all the, you know, complexity of it all. I like Buffalo Trace. I don't actually have it because I always use Buffalo Trace as like my guinea pig bottle. Like whatever I want to do weird with, I want to put it in a barrel. If I want to mix up a weird cocktail, I use Buffalo Trace. I don't know why. I just do it. So it's always the first to go. I haven't seen it in a while. I know it's getting easier to find, but I have not seen it in a hot minute. So I saw it at Publix, but it was like behind the shelf and it like weirdly positioned that I was like, I'm not even going to ask for it. Cobra says, any Garrison Brothers in your collection? No. So the way I kind of test whiskey brands is usually I'm either going to try it from a friend or I buy their kind of like basic offering, whatever their small batch or first cheap run is. And then I'll try that. And if I like it, I'll either buy it or I'm going to buy their next level up bottle. We're going to keep going down the line until I find one I don't care for. Garrison Brothers, I tried their small batch, whatever the black wax one is, and I did not like it. and it could have been the time of day and like the right setting, because it was like mesquite barbecue. Like if I was cooking up some ribs or like a fat ass ribeye or something, like I could feel like that may fit the vibe, but it just was a little bit too, I'd say, weird for me. Um, it wasn't bad. It just really wasn't like what I would want. So I'd love to try their other stuff, but their stuff's expensive, right? And if I don't like their normal offering, half the time I'm not gonna like the stuff that is a little bit more expensive, you know. And I think from there, their bottles really get up to like $100+. $100+ bottle is not really something I want to necessarily take a risk on. Joke says there wasn't a giveaway this week, or when I asked you about that special infinity bottle samples last live. Yeah, last live was kind of weird. This live, to be honest, I wasn't supposed to go live from here. I was supposed to go live from the bourbon drop. I could go over why, but that's too much like details. So we're gonna do it next week, next Friday. Yeah, next Friday on the 30th. Because to be honest, I want to kind of, I mean, granted, I want to promote it too, right? Try to get a couple more new people in here. I've just been like weirdly busy. So, but we'll do something. We'll do something kind of special. Maybe I'll give away like a whole bottle and then samples or something. We'll do something to kind of make up for pushing it off. But yes, we are doing a giveaway. We're going to be doing at minimum this, giving away 2 samples to just normal viewers and subscribers that are just watching the live that day, and we're also going to do one for the members. Members don't have a ton of perks right now, so we want to make sure they're taken care of as well. That's why we're doing that as we kind of grow. But yeah, if you're a member, you're entered in automatically. If you're watching live that day, whenever I say, hey, we're starting, if you're watching, I'm going to start writing down the names. We'll throw it in. We'll do a duck race. Whoever wins the duck race is going to win the samples. I'll let you guys kind of pick them, right? So if you are new, maybe go watch my collection video for New Year's. Go watch all the others, see what I've bought since then, I guess. I don't know. I'm not going to do a mid-year update, so. But nothing's really off limits, right? So if you really want to try the Russell's 15, oh, where is it at? Russell's 15, 13th Colony, Jack Daniel's 10, Still Austin Tanger, whatever you want to try, I'll send you samples. Obviously, you have to be 21 or older. The Infinity bottle, you could, but I mean, I probably would suggest something else, but to each his own. Aaron says, Heaven Hill, Bottom Bond, 7-year at the moment. Another great bottle. Honestly, like Liz did or EH, which you guys would know her by, she did a blind the other night where I'm just sitting on the couch. She brings me a Glen. She goes, tell me what you're drinking. And I couldn't figure out what it was because it was like, it was really good. When I was doing it blind, I was like, what the fuck am I drinking? I honestly thought it was higher proof than 100, so it was throwing me off. The moment she told me it was 100 proof, I was like, oh, Heaven Hill. Because I couldn't, honestly, I thought it was like 110, so I was thinking, like, what do I have that's like 110? And it threw me way off, so. Yeah, just so you guys know, I can see the analytics. Only like 7% of people that are subscribed actually have clicked the bell, turned the notifications on to know when we go live or a video posts. So make sure you do that. Because Mr. Joker says next Friday, tune in to the live stream for the giveaway. Like and subscribe, everyone, to join the family, and set the bell for notifications on for shorts and videos when we go live. Let's go. Joker, appreciate it as always. Yeah, next Friday for sure, we'll do some kind of giveaway. I was trying to have somebody come on when we did that. That was kind of part of the issue too. But then I found out about the bourbon drop that's going on basically now. Everybody's kind of lined up outside the liquor store. I want to go, but fuck me, bro. That's like an hour and a half drive to Gainesville. I don't know. I'll have to decide once I get off the live, but it'd be another cool bottle you guys potentially get samples of, you know? You never know. So, but, ladies and gentlemen, Caterpillar says, "Shut the hell up, Joker." Caterpillar shows up last minute trying to become his wrench. His wrenchly duties. He showed up an hour, almost 2 hours late for work. It's basically a no call, no show at most places. I'm just saying. Guys, if you don't know already, we're gonna do an end of the year awards. We're gonna have it fun. Best viewer, best wrench. We're gonna do weird shit. So just stay tuned for the New Year's live stream. We're gonna make it fun. AB says Johnny Walker Black is my go-to though. Do I have it there? Up here. I have it. I have a little mini bottle. I actually do not like it. Not worth the drive. You never know. Yeah, the Johnny Walker Black's not my favorite by any means. Like I don't like it. I don't know why. It's just something about it. I wish it did, but anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that is where we end the live stream. I appreciate you watching. If you haven't already, go watch the new video that was just posted. Go throw a comment on there. Let me know. Are you fans of Bruzel? Thanks to him, I started my bourbon journey. To be honest, he's the only reason I'm on YouTube. So, okay, let me rephrase that. I was on YouTube prior doing multiple things. I didn't even know you could do bourbon or whiskey on YouTube. I thought it was banned until I saw his video. So, yeah, he's the reason why I started the bourbon channel for sure. I wouldn't blame him for all of this, but I'll say you can give him some credit. I'm not like a super fan or anything like that. I watch him on occasions, but I did just post a video of his bourbon. Right, I just reviewed what he just put out in the world for people to buy. So go watch it. If you like it, let me know. No call-in show for Caterpillar Market. Call me old-fashioned. I know he's gonna have to talk to HR. M1 says miss drinking. I mean, me too. This dude's trying to get me in shrubs. That's funny. No, all right, guys. I got some stuff to do after this, but he's like, hell yeah, I'm a snitch on you. You guys keep dragging me in. I see what you're doing. You're trying to get me to stay later. But if you haven't already, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, go check out the new video. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you on the other side. Peace.